Well, it turns out the Republican majority of the House Judiciary Committee got far more than they bargained for when they decided to subpoena former counsel Jack Smith for a closed-door deposition last month. And that might explain why they released the video of that deposition on New Year's Eve, when they assumed nobody in the world would be paying attention. Smith, of course, brought two criminal cases against Trump, one over the highly classified documents he stashed at Mar-a-Lago, and another over Trump's attempt to defraud the United States and subvert a democratic election. Neither case went to trial before Trump was elected president again. But when it comes to Trump's culpability in the crimes he alleged, Smith was pretty definitive. And Republicans, I mean, they may have been hoping for a gotcha moment during that 8-hour deposition. It is hard to keep yourself together during an 8-hour deposition. But the staffer questioning Smith never quite seemed to get the kind of answers he was looking for, like in this exchange about whether Trump's election lies should be protected by the First Amendment.
But the president's statements that he believed the election was rife with fraud, those certainly are statements that are protected by the First Amendment, correct?
Absolutely not if they are made to target a lawful government function and they're made with knowing falsity. No, they're not.
What do you think their goal was here? And what do you think they got out of it or didn't get out of it, I guess?
So I'll answer the second part of that question first. I don't think they got anything out of it except a robust amount of embarrassment at their attempts to undermine him in his investigation. The committee, which Jim Jordan chairs, does have legitimate oversight responsibility, which does allow it, and indeed it should, practice rigorous inquiries into how special counsel and Justice Department investigations are handled. But that's not what was going on here. What they were essentially trying to do is rewrite the history, not only of what occurred on January 6th, which all of us who are in D.C. remember rightly as a horrendous day, but also attempt to subvert all the investigations to assign responsibility for who caused that riot and that attempt to overthrow a free and fair election. And frankly, Smith ran circles around them, and they did not succeed in any of their real goals.
Welcome back, guys. Today we are talking about something very big. It is about the Jack Smith deposition and what happened with the Republicans. This is important because it shows a lot about Trump and his team, and also how some politicians try to hide the truth. So first, let's start with Jack Smith. He is the former special counsel. He was part of the investigation about January 6th and other issues connected to Trump. Recently, he gave a deposition to the House Judiciary Committee. A deposition is where someone answers questions under oath. Republicans wanted to use this deposition against Trump. They thought it could help him, or at least make Democrats look bad. But here is the twist. The deposition did not go the way Republicans wanted. Instead, it backfired. It ended up embarrassing them. Many people thought that Republicans were trying to rewrite history. They wanted to make it look like Trump was not responsible. But Jack Smith made things very clear. He did not let anyone hide the truth. One of the most important things Smith said is about Trump's role in January 6th. Smith said, and I quote, that Trump is, by a large measure, the most culpable and most responsible person in the conspiracy that led to the Capitol attack. This is huge. Smith did not use soft words or hide his opinion. He directly said that Trump was the main person responsible. That is very serious. Smith also talked about Trump's lies about the election. He said that Trump fails claims are not protected by the First Amendment if he knew they were false and used them to try to stop the government from doing its job. That is very important. Some people think politicians can just lie and call it free speech. But Smith made it clear that lying with a plan to stop the government is not okay. Now let's talk about what Republicans wanted. Mitchell Feinberg, a former FBI official, explained that Republicans tried to use the deposition to rewrite history. They wanted to make it look like January 6th was not serious and that Smith's investigation was wrong. But they failed. Smith ran circles around them. As Feinberg said, he answered questions very clearly and did not let them trick him. The Republicans did not achieve their goals at all. Another very interesting thing came up in the deposition. Mark Meadows, who was Trump's chief of staff, said that Jim Jordan was scared on January 6th. This is big news because many Republicans tried to make it seem like everyone was calm or acting brave that day. But Meadows' statement shows that even top Republican leaders were scared. This does not match the Republican story about January 6th. It is very revealing. Feinberg also mentioned something about the future. One volume of Smith's investigation is already public. It talks about the false elector schemes. These were plans to try to teach the election by claiming Trump won states that he actually lost. This volume is now public and people can read it. It shows the evidence and the work Smith and his team did. There is another volume about classified documents. This one is not public yet. Judge Eileen Cannon is holding it for now, but Feinberg thinks that it will be released soon, even if some parts are redacted. So, more information about Trump and his actions will come out in the future. Now, let's take a moment to think about what all this means. First, it shows that Trump really was at the center of a lot of serious problems. He was not just a small part of these events. Smith made it very clear that Trump's actions were intentional and harmful. Second, it shows that some politicians, especially Republicans in this case, tried to hide the truth. They tried to twist history, ignore facts, and make Trump look better. But they failed. Jack Smith's deposition shows that evidence and facts cannot be hidden forever. The truth comes out no matter what. Third, it is important to know that the American people are watching. Many people are paying attention to January 6th and to these investigations. Depositions like this are very important because they show what actually happened. They show who is responsible and who is trying to hide things. I think another important point is about accountability. Trump has a lot of supporters and many people believe in him strongly. But accountability is not about politics, it is about facts. Smith's deposition reminds us that no one is above the law. Even a former president can be responsible for serious actions. Also, the deposition is a warning. It shows that lying and trying to stop the government has consequences. People can say what they want, but if there is a plan to break the law or cheat the system, it will be investigated. This is how democracy works. Now, let's talk about the big picture. Republicans wanted to use this deposition to their advantage. That is ironic, but also important. It shows that trying to manipulate the truth is dangerous. It can make you look worse than before. The deposition exposed this clearly. For Trump supporters, this may be hard to hear, but for everyone else, it is a lesson about honesty and leadership. Leaders have to take responsibility for their actions. When they lie or plan illegal actions, it affects everyone. The deposition shows how serious the situation was and how it involved top leaders. Another key thing is transparency. Smith's investigation is mostly public and that is good. People can read it, analyze it, and understand what happened. Keeping secrets does not help anyone. Transparency is what makes a democracy strong. Finally, this deposition and the reaction show the power of evidence. Facts matter, Documents, statements, and investigations are more powerful than politics or rhetoric. Republicans tried to twist the story, but the evidence spoke louder than words. So, in summary, Jack Smith's deposition is very important. It shows Trump's central role in January 6th, the false electoral scheme, and other serious issues. It shows that Republicans tried to hide the truth but failed. It shows the importance of accountability, honesty, and transparency. And it reminds us that evidence and facts are more powerful than any political plan. The key takeaway is very simple. Truth matters, lies and attempts to rewrite history can be exposed. Leaders must take responsibility for their actions. And investigations like this are crucial for democracy. That's all for today. I hope this reaction helped you understand what happened in Jack Smith's deposition. It is serious, it is important, and it is something very every American should know about. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more important stories. And I will see you in the next video.